Imagine having digital information available in a contact lens. Welcome back to another Techstination interview. Joining us is Drew Perkins, CEO of Mojo Vision. Thanks for being with us, Drew.
Thanks for having me.
Well, it sounds like science fiction, but you are for real. So tell us what Mojo Vision and Mojo Lens are all about.
So Mojo Lens is about bringing you the information you want at the moment you want it, while letting you look like you. These devices, mobile phones, are going to be, replaced over the next several years with some form of augmented reality. At least most people in the industry believe that, and we do as well. And the question is, what is augmented reality? What does it look like? How is it implemented? Majority of the large tech companies out there, from Apple on down, are working on some form of glasses. Perhaps some form. The ideal is something like what you're wearing now, Fred, but digital glasses that are able to give you all the information you want, make it look like you're looking at something physical that's not really there, or a screen or some sort. And but in reality, all of the firms have only is able to develop very large, hot, heavy goggles and headwear that is not going to attract people to try to replace this thing. They're just not. And we would like to really realize that vision of the future and be able to let you look like you and have a normal relationship with people, not look weird, but get the information you want, whether it's a message someone's trying to send you, whether it's a bit of information about a product you want to look at, whether it's the weather, whether it's stock price, whether it's your grocery list, whatever it is, and whatever kind of information, be able to get it when you want it, exactly when you want it, know that you're going to even want it, but just look normal and look like a normal person.
So you're putting the technology into contact lens form?
That's right. So our vision is most people want to look like themselves. Even people that wear glasses, often prefer not to even be wearing their glasses. Glasses change your look and appearance, and most people want to look like they're naturally born. And so it drives the contact lens industry. About a third of people that need to have some form of vision correction choose contact lenses because they want to look like themselves. And our thought is, if you could have a contact lens that had the same information as a pair of glasses, which don't exist today, then a good portion of the planet, of the populace, would want that instead of the glasses, and especially with the way the big, hot, heavy glasses and goggles are today, they would prefer that. So the question is, the question when we started this, 5.5 years ago, is that possible? If it's possible, how could you possibly do it? And so we've been working for the last 5.5 years as a company, figuring out how to do that, and have done that. We've turned science fiction into science fact, and I have worn, and a number of other people have worn, a contact lens that's practically invisible and is able to show us information and exactly what we want.
So, as you said, it sounds impossible. How do you power this? How do you charge this? Tell me how you've solved these issues.
Yeah, so we're developing a contact lens that first has power in it, has batteries in it that are able to power it. There's a computer in it, a microprocessor. There's displays, there's sensors, there's image sensors and accelerometers and IMUs and all the things that are in, pretty much almost everything that's in here is we're putting into a contact lens in a fairly invisible way. It's very, very small. Of course, it doesn't have the battery that drives this thing. Doesn't have the huge display. We have a display that's less than a millimeter in size that's in the contact lens that the wearer can't see. That doesn't block their vision, and somebody looking at the wearer also can't see because it's the size of a speck of dirt, basically. So we're fitting all the sort of functionality, although not as much of it, not as big a processor, not as big a battery, not as big a amount of storage or anything like that. We're relying on the cloud, and the contact lens communicating with another device that you wear that will then relay information to the cloud, or perhaps to this. You'll for a while still have this in your pocket for some applications. Someday we envision that entirely going away as well. But it works as a system, and between the contact lens, another device you're wearing, and the cloud, you're going to get all the same functionality. You have this, all the same functionality you have on your laptop computer, but far more, because it's a wearable device that can do everything your smartwatch can do and your Fitbit can do, and much more. There's many medical applications and things that can be developed. One, when you're in a contact lens form factor that's in contact with a bodily fluid and in contact with your body the whole time you're wearing it.
And this would be rechargeable, enough battery to get you through a day?
Or yes, it's rechargeable. It's wirelessly recharged, just like the modern cell phone is wirelessly recharged through Qi or some type of protocol like that. And our goal is to make it last all day, or a substantial fraction of the day, just the way that this thing does.
What are the chief applications that you are looking at for this technology?
So we think that the first applications are ones that you want to be hands-free and eyes up. Okay, there are so many applications where this is not practical. It's not possible. It's a distraction. I mean, you can't service a car and hold this thing at the same time. It's very difficult. For instance, it's hard to do any kind of sports or athletics while you're with this. You know, when you're trying to run with this and try to look at it, it's very difficult. For instance, you can't ski very well holding this thing. So you can't play basketball holding that thing. So any type of applications like that, any kind of service kind of thing, hospitality. You don't want your concierge, walking around looking at this. You want them looking at you and helping you. So any kind of thing where that's people to people, or you need to focus on some other object, some device, some thing that you're working on, any of those kind of things.
How did this come about?
So when I was, I'm a serial entrepreneur, and when I was developing my last company, I also developed cataracts in my eyes, not intentionally, of course. And I had cataract surgery. And in cataract surgery, which is the most common surgery on the planet, it's incredibly fast and easy, and everybody gets it when they get in the 60s, 70s, older people. I got it in my 30s. I developed cataracts. It's a partly genetic thing as well. And in cataract surgery, they take the crystalline lens, the part of your eye that automatically focuses or helps you focus on things you're looking at. They pull that out and they slide in another lens that is just a piece of plastic. That's called an intraocular lens. And as I said, you come out of the operating room from that operation. It's about 10 minutes, very quick, but you can immediately see very well. And I had myopia. You're wearing glasses. Perhaps you have myopia. Perhaps you have hyperopia or astigmatism or presbyopia, one of those. And you walk out and you can see, pretty well 20/20 again, at least at some distances, but not at all distances. And I immediately saw the deficiencies there that I couldn't see perfectly in all distances. I thought, why, with today's technology, why isn't it possible to be able to walk out of that operating room with eyes better than I was born with? Okay, with eyes that could see at all distances and see well. And one of my favorite TV shows when I grew up in the 70s was The $6 Million Man. Steve Austin, the Bionic Man, had this bionic eye that he was given that could see telephoto lens. For instance, I thought, why can't I have that? It's been 40 years since that television show. Why haven't we done that? I'm a very deep tech person, and certainly I've got to be able to invent that. So I, a few years later, after I was done with my previous company and ready to start a new company, I dove in on this and immediately discovered there were some companies out there trying to develop this technology and a lot of people working on it, but it wasn't quite there. And I thought to myself, well, first of all, it's been a long time, been 40 years. Computing technology has come a long way also. And there's this concept of augmented reality. These two things ought to be merged. First of all, if you're going through all the expense of trying to develop some form of bionic vision and vision assistance, you ought to be able to integrate modern computing technology as well through augmented reality. And then I also further thought, I don't think I want to develop the first product as being implanted. That might be a little difficult to raise money for. So I thought, well, what wouldn't be implanted? Well, contact lens would be the nearest way to get the same sort of functionality for a larger number of people, and it'd be more a fundable product and project. So it was just, I instantly made that pivot, and here we are now, 5 years later.
And last fall, you were named a winner in NASA's iTech competition. Tell us about that.
That's right. That's right. NASA has an annual or biannual competition looking for all the best technology over the planet, and especially within the United States, primarily for their missions to get to the moon, to Mars, etc. And they surveyed over 1,000 companies, I believe, and technology, and we came out on top. They named 3 winners, and we were one of those 3 winners. So they certainly saw the same vision and understood how our technology will be able to help them in many ways, from astronauts themselves. Perhaps we can help them lighten the aircraft, or the spacecraft, that can help them send more equipment and further and more readily and cheaper, etc. But also all the people on the ground crew and anyone in logistics or in any of NASA's parts of their mission, basically.
So as of today, what does your roadmap look like for coming out with real products?
So far, we have developed a number of proof of concept devices, including, like I said, full contact lenses with power, with communications, with projection displays in them. And a number of people we've put the latest device on. What we've been working on since then, for the last 18 months roughly, has been a true prototype. A prototype contact lens that has all of the technology in it. It's not quite done yet, and we envision another cycle on this to get it to a full product, but we're on the verge of having that first true prototype done. We will then refine that into the final product. All contact lenses are medical devices, and medical devices in the United States are regulated by the FDA, and we need to get FDA approval or clearance to be able to offer it for sale. So in order to do that, you need to have a clinical trial involving a lot of people to gather the evidence to put in front of the FDA to prove to them that it's safe and that it's effective. And so we have those steps ahead of us, but over the next few years, we'll be busy doing those steps. But a few years from now, we hope to be able to be selling this on the open market in the United States, as well as in other countries around the globe. And we have a number of additional product generations. We have a lot of technology that'll be part of the first generation, but we're always thinking and already have improvements and additional capabilities and things that we envision that will be in second generation, third generation, fourth generation, etc.
And this is gathering data, everything that the wearer would see. And that people would wonder about the privacy issues, etc. What happens with all of that?
Absolutely. And we believe that we need to make sure that we're very well trusted. People need to trust us as a company that the device that they're putting on their eye is, first of all, not going to hurt them. It's going to help them, but also that it will keep them secure, and both physically as well as their virtual security, or in the all their information about it. So it does have. We are we are seeing what you are seeing, but we're not storing any of that data. We're not allowing anybody to get access to that kind of information. All that information belongs to you. You're the person seeing it. To the wearer is seeing it, and the only information that will ever get out is something that they want to let out. So,
Do you see this as something that's going to make us all, if we're wearing these, have the capability of having almost not Google inside your head, but Google in front of your face all the time, or the equivalent to that, having all the information that you would want or need?
absolutely, that's the goal. Google's goal, since they came into existence, was to get all the world's information, make it available to you, and now we're trying to make it available instantly, and even with even less friction than Google itself. So we want to be able to, if a device can be more part of your life, and participating in your life, it can help you be more effective in everything that you're doing, and help you remember all the information that you encounter and come into contact with, for an instance, but have more efficient access to all the other information out there.
Really, really interesting, and a million more questions I could ask, but our time is a bit limited. For more information, the best place to go is mojo.vision. You can get the information there on what the company is doing. Drew Perkins, look forward to speaking to you again, and thank you for taking the time with us.
Thank you, Fred.
Now this. It takes a lot of listening to build a better radio, and that's just what the folks at C. Crane have done. Bob Crane and his crew, nestled among the rivers and tallest trees in the world in Fortuna, California, have made a habit of listening to their customers. And that's just what they've done in building the CC Skywave SSB, the Swiss Army knife of portable radios. For everyday listening to AM or FM in the yard or patio or on the nightstand, without having to drain a mobile phone battery, it's a great companion. But it is also a companion equipped for NOAA weather information and alerts that can be life-saving. You can listen to FEMA and Coast Guard transmissions too. Beyond all of that, you can tune into shortwave signals from around the world. It's compact, easy to take with you, and built to last. The CC Skywave SSB. Click on the link at Techstination.com.